Will the platformer era return? It is a question I think many people are asking these days, at least those who grew up in the Sony mascot era. Of course, as you know, this all started with the announcement and release of Crash Insane Trilogy and then later Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Since then, Crash has had another remake in CRT, a sequel, and a spin-off. Spyro has had nothing but cameos, a strong hint towards the creation of Spyro 4. Everything was looking good until Vicarious Visions, the ones responsible for remaking the first three Spyro games, was announced to be merged into Blizzard, which means Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1+2 Studio will no longer be creating games as lead developer. To the eyes of many, Blizzard absorbed a studio that brought back Crash and Tony Hawk. With the combo of Vicarious Visions, Toys for Bob, and Beanox, it seemed like Activision just had gold on their hands with these three studios. Sadly, just last week it was announced that Vicarious Visions would even lose their name. Pity, it was a cool name. And not long after, reports of artist layoffs at Toys for Bob, and soon after, Activision let it be known that all companies are working on Call of Duty Warzone. In the eyes of most, Toys for Bob and Vicarious Visions, along with Crash and Spyro's future, were dead in the water. But there were fans that held out hope and thought perhaps there was an overreaction. And they were right. Like when Activision sent Spyro eggs to YouTubers, they recently sent Wampa fruit. Along with that, there are also hints after hint after hint, quieting all doomers, skeptics, and journalists. Everyone knows a new Crash game is coming. They don't know when, however. Sadly, no news on Spyro 4. Now, this is about mascots, and there is more than one era of mascots for PlayStation. My personal favorite era, the PS2 mascot era of Jack, Ratchet & Clank, and Sly Cooper. A very unique thing has happened with one of these franchises. The original developers kept developing games for them. Insomniac, Ratchet & Clank. There are about 17 Ratchet & Clank games, almost all developed by Insomniac. The series has had many subtle changes, going from an action platformer to a full-on third-person shooter to back to an action platformer after fan backlash. From a fairly comedic story with heart that loves to take digs at consumerism to something different, bigger, and story-driven. The series had many changes, many ups, and honestly I think very few downs. I don't think even the fanbase fully appreciates the series sometimes, after we have seen nothing from its contemporaries in years. The last Ratchet & Clank game was a AAA showcase game for the PS5. I have not played it, but from what I have seen, it's a solid game and a good look for the PS5 that sold very well. So there will be more, and hopefully next year remasters, because everyone needs to play the older games. They still hold up because it's Insomniac. Now the hope with such success is perhaps this incites Sony to invest in other platformers. Seeing the cameos in Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, can't help but foolishly speculate. And now there are rumors of a new Sly Cooper game coming, not by the same company, but regardless, this is great news for fans. And if it's real, and it does come out, I think we have hope for a Jack game as well. Naughty Dog has said they would like to work on Jack, but simply don't have the time. I'm not quite sure if fans would like modern Naughty Dog to work on Jack, honestly, but with Sly Cooper being handled by a different developer, it may not matter. So, back to the question of will the mascot era come back in some way? Well, I think they can, and I like to think they will. Activision aren't the smartest company out there, seen now as the most evil game company whose bright idea to fix rampant sexual harassment was to turn art of a woman into fruit. Something that might please some journalists, but not most normal people. So yeah, they're idiots whose idea to fix things is to pander to sensibilities instead of actually putting a good effort. Still, I don't think even Activision is dumb enough to completely stop what has been working. And if Sony does go all in, we are looking at another bright era of anthropomorphic animals with attitude. I can't wait. Anyway, if you liked this video, please like, sub, and hit the bell. Later.